right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the BSBN Podcast. We're here with episode number 7. Today I have my lovely co-host here, Dan, with me, joining on the podcast.
What's going on, guys?
We're going to be talking about an array of podcast topics here. We're going to be discussing. I'm going to go into the topics here. We're going to start off here with the Giants debacle. We're going to be speaking about the Giants, everything that's going on with them, their constant letdowns as far as fourth quarter drops, as well as the Jets and Cleveland game. What a disarray that was. And then what's next for these teams? What's going on with these teams? We're also going to be throwing some NHL in here. If you do like the NHL stuff, please. We'll be talking a bit more in like the back half of the podcast. We got some interesting topics that we kind of want to talk about, just because, I'm a New York sports fan. We love New York sports, so we're gonna be talking some some Rangers. We're gonna be talking some just a bunch of different stuff. So, but for now, we're gonna start off here with the Giants. Dan, what do you think about that game with them versus the Bears this weekend?
I think that this game, the start of the game, yeah, we struggled, but this should have been a game we won because from the second quarter on, the Giants looked like a whole different team. They started playing on both ends of the fields. It wasn't just like a one-sided game like you have seen in the past. The Giants came out playing strong, and it's another thing where they had the fourth quarter breakdown. I don't know what's going on with this because I think from what I saw in stats wise, I think it was dating back to the Cowboys game. They had a 93% chance to win that game. Then you look back to the Broncos game. They had a 99.2% chance. It was something ridiculously high. And then you go into this game again, and it's another fourth quarter collapse they had. And the Saints game was another game that they had a high winning chance going
The
into the fourth
Broncos.
quarter. I said the Broncos. I
Oh,
think
I
they
didn't
had a
say the
90
Broncos. Sorry.
something percent chance, a
Yeah,
99 or something like that. I don't know the exact
with 5
percentage.
minutes left remaining.
But yeah, just the Giants this year just can't seem. It's the fourth quarter collapse. And yeah, I get it. You have to put the blame on somebody. And of course, the head coach is going to get primarily of the blame because it's the head coach and the GM. But at the end of the day, I really don't think that this was a head coach legitimate chance to fire him. But I get why they did it. And don't get me wrong, do I agree with it? Not fully, but I see where John Mara was coming from because he's put in a very hard position where he has to do something. And are you going to get rid of the GM or are you going to get rid of the head coach? The head coach is usually the first one to fall on the from that platform. But I don't think that this is primarily a head coaching thing. I think this is a more defense coordinator thing, and I don't know. Just we've seen this time and time again, where in the fourth quarter they stop blitzing four. You have Abdul Carter, you have Brian Burns, you have Thibodeau, you have all these players on the defensive on the D line, and you're just sending one of them back in coverage all the time. It's not something you normally see these top teams do. If you have some of these top rushers on your team, you're normally blitzing them 95% of the plays. And those rare plays, you have them in disguises where you don't know if they're going to drop back or come in, and even then it's a late blitz. So, do I agree with the decision? No. Do I think Brian DeBalls has been on the swivel for a long time? Absolutely, especially dating back to last year because these last two seasons, and after going, what was it, 9-7 when we made the playoffs? That
Um,
first year he was here, I
yeah.
think it was 9-7.
I didn't think it was the first year. I think it was the second year he was here. Was it not?
I think it was the first year because we beat the Titans. We came back in that Titans win. That was his first year here. I think it was the first year we made the playoffs, or it could have been the second year. I'm not sure. But yeah, I thought Brian Dibble on the Giants was gonna last longer than it has, especially last longer than 4 years because it was like these were our. This was the foundation of what the team was gonna be, and now it's like, where do we go from here? Yeah, I see we have what's his name as oh oh my God, what's our coordinator's name? That's the head coach now.
Kafka is going to be interim.
Koff is gonna be head coach now, the interim head coach, and it's like I don't know how that's going to play out because I think Brian DeBall is a better coach than him, and you have your guy in Jackson Dart now, and you were trying to give him a chance to build up this team to something it could be. I think it's more so the defense. I think the defense is struggling, and I don't know why. When you look at the Giants' defense, they should be playing a hell lot better than they have been. And I don't know if this is a Shane Bowen thing or whatever. I just don't know. And I know some fans are okay with the ball being gone. I'm one of those fans that are 50-50. I think when your hand is being played, you have to let the head coach go. But do I think it's a smart decision? Absolutely not. I think after Brian DeBall got his guy, you have to ride with him and see where this goes. And the whole Jackson Dart thing, but and when it comes to Jackson Dart, this has been a conversation we've been having since Jackson Dart started on the Giants, because you see how he plays. He plays like this 250-pound running back he plays like the Saquon Barkley, where he's bull rushing defenders. You're a quarterback. You have to be aware of these situations. You can't go risking your health. Sometimes this is on Jackson Dart. This is not on a coaching thing. The player has to realize that it's his safety they're looking out for. It's not, yeah, okay, you can fight for the extra yards and everything, but there's a time and place to do that. Sometimes you have to slide. You can't be bulldozing through somebody all the time and expecting that to work out for you, because this is your fourth concussion protocol now, and now you actually have one. And you're going to turn into a Tungaloa type player, where are we going to have to worry about you getting concussions every game that you play now?
My thing is here, right? Like, for me, Dayball, I'm not a huge fan of Dayball. I'm really not. I liked how energetic he was. I did enjoy his personality, but coaching wise, I'm not the biggest fan of him for. I think that Jackson Dart was like a crab in a bucket kind of moment, where he found something to latch onto, and he kept with it, and it's the reason why he had the job for as long as he did throughout this season. Um, because we already seen what the team looked like before Jackson Dart, right? Russell Wilson was here, and which Russell Wilson came into this game as well, did terrible.
Oh yeah.
Basically, he lost them the game. Like, they could have easily gotten a touchdown to one, and that just disappeared. I don't really know what happened with this team. But yeah, it's another instance of we don't score where we shouldn't have scored, and we absolutely let up scoring where we shouldn't have let up scoring. I am in disagreement with the with you on this, just for the Dayball firing. For me, I do think that Dayball, I'm fine with him being gone personally, but if I'm Mara, I take it a step further. First off, GM's gotta go. Defensive coordinator has to go. You have 4 rushers now that you could absolutely rush in. Just keep Abdul Carter on the blitz. Make sure that he is playing on the edge and not a linebacker position. Let him be able to play this.
Didn't he get his first sack this previous game?
Yeah, I mean, but that he could have had plenty more, and if you would have
Oh no,
not been playing
I'm just throwing that in there because it's how many games and he just got his first sack.
Yeah,
it's like he's been pressuring the quarterback and everything. I feel like, why step away from that when you see his play? You see how good of a rusher he is, and you're just dropping him back in coverage 50% of the plays. I don't understand that from
neither do I. I don't understand it either. But this team needs to stop playing the 3-4 concept. They have a beautiful old defensive line to play a 4-3, and they can easily just go ahead and do that. They have 2 defensive tackles they can easily use. They have 2 great ends they can easily use, even 3 of them if you want to put Thibodeau in there. Me personally, Thibodeau should have been gone at the deadline. That's where I am with the Giants right now. The Thibodeau should have been gone. You have Brian Burns on one side. You've already tried out Thibodeau. To me, Thibodeau hasn't really worked out. Yes, he gets a sack or 2, maybe, but he's not really. Abdul Carter has already been back there more than I've seen Thibodeau back there this entire season. He just doesn't have the sacks to show it. He literally just needs to be the one going in more, and we'll see more stats on him. So for me, I think that the defense definitely needs work. We need more positional upgrades at the defensive back position, primarily getting rid of Deontay Banks. That's got to happen. But to stick to the coaching aspect, really, seeing this game was kind of like a disgrace in my eyes. It's just like it was just, I don't know. It's like Jackson Dart played good. He played his heart out. He had 6 rushes, and I will add into this. I will add into this that Jackson Dart, first off, he broke I believe it was a rookie record where he has a total of rush, 7 rushing touchdowns through his first 5 starts or something like that. Most by any rookie to have ever played in the NFL. He is the only rookie to accomplish this. But on top of that, even without the rushing touchdowns, and I think he's going to get compared to like someone amongst the likes of Lamar Jackson, just because of how much he runs. But at the same time, the Giants actually have the most designed quarterback runs in the league. They've been playing
Yeah,
the quarterback run as a design play for more than anyone by double the amount of plays over the next. And that's just not something you need when your guy keeps constantly getting concussion protocols. And yeah, he should slide. Jackson Dart should slide. He absolutely should. But he also does know how to take this body. I understand that he's gotta start sliding more, avoid the heavy hitting, especially when you can see it. Like you're about to get laced up, dive. Like the slide. It hasn't stopped defenders. He's been hit twice already in the head while sliding this season. Once I believe happened against the Saints as well, actually in that game, and the other one I think it might have been the first game against the Chargers, but he was hit twice while sliding already, like in the head.
yeah, but
And
I think that's because his decision to slide comes very late. I don't think it's an immediate decision where he's like, okay, I'm gonna give up my body here. It's like, no, I'm gonna take the hit and then give up my body. It's like in those type of situations, aren't you? You're giving your body to the defender in that case.
yeah, which I don't disagree with. I think that next year what would help this is we'll go into this a little bit later is getting him more weapons around him because you know what shout out to Wandell Robinson, right? Wandell Robinson has been crazy good. I've been enjoying watching him play. Even though Darius Slayton, I give him his props for that one-handed catch he got this game against the Bears. But honestly, every other game he's played other than this one catch, he's honestly been lackluster. He hasn't been my favorite player to watch. He's honestly dropped the ball more than I can count. He's been honestly a big factor as to why we're constantly having to rush is because players like him and Theo Johnson. Again, Theo Johnson is one of his favorite receivers, but the guy drops the ball more than anything. It's like I don't know if you need more stickum on your gloves or something like that, but clearly there's something wrong here when your guys constantly drop this ball and you're forced to do nothing but run. Like they don't have the IQ to really be out here besides Wandell Robinson and Malik Neighbors is obviously out. They need another weapon out there because again, I love Wandell Robinson. I think he's great, but they need a number two that is out there that could play side by side with Malik Neighbors that could be better than Wandell and still keep Wandell as like maybe a slot side receiver. Something that they can use him up the middle because I think that's where he shines. He's able to make the plays off the short routes. Kind of reminds me of like Garrett Wilson almost in a sense, where he can make the play happen for you. You just need to get him the ball. So I'd love to see Wandell Robinson not play the deep ball as much. He has no choice to right now, being like the number one receiver. Besides, I guess Slayton, but for me, he is my number one receiver on the Giants. But I would love to see them throw to him more short and let him make the play himself because that's what he's really good at. Just like Garrett Wilson on the Jets, that's where I feel he fits more into the play style. Malik Neighbors, obviously, you have your deep threat, which they abuse, and it's the reason why he got injured. For me personally, I think they just kept trying to run it down to him because that's all Russell Wilson could see in this day and age. He just tried to blow it out to Malik Neighbors, and then when it kept failing and failing and failing, the amount of targets he has, and I seen a stat actually where Malik Neighbors, even to this day, we're on what week 9 right now. This is week 9 that we just played, or week 10. I think it was week
Yeah.
9. So we're at the end of week 9, and
No, 10. This was week 10.
this was week 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just played week 10's game, and if we're wrong, if it is week 9, then yeah, go back to week 9. But if it is week 10, then we have played 10 weeks of football. Only 3 of them, actually only 2 and a quarter, 1/4 of a game with Malik Neighbors, and he's still second. I believe you can go fact check this, but I believe he's still second on our receiving list for both touchdowns and receiving yards. There's been seven games and 3/4 of another showing that he is still up there, which is sad. It's really sad, especially with the fact that Jackson Dart has been throwing. He's been out there actually throwing this ball and slinging the thing. He's really good. I've said it since preseason. I love them since. Without the biases, he just looked really good. Looked like he knew how to read the field, and I feel exactly as how it is. He does need some things he's got to work on. Like I said, the sliding, big thing for him, right? But overall, though, his ability to read the field, the ability to understand where the pressure is coming from, and to avoid the pocket collapse when it is collapsing under him, because the O line still is really badly vacant at that right tackle position because Evan Neal isn't it, and the starter above him really isn't it. That whole guard section, the whole right side of the line still needs to be changed. I feel like the right guard's still good, but that right tackle position still needs to be worked on, and I think that's something they're going to have to go for in the draft. But it's not going to be my first choice. We'll talk about the draft in a little bit. But I am absolutely for them getting rid of Dayball. I'm for them getting rid of Schoen as the general manager, which I think we still can see by the end of this season.
Yes.
And then I still
I
would
think
like to
this
see
was
them.
just
I still would like to see them get rid of their defensive coordinator as well, because the defensive coordinator honestly is driving me up a damn wall. And the play scheme he's working with now does not match what our team has on the defensive side. He's trying to play a 3-4, and we can't be playing that. Abdul Carter is a rusher, not a coverage linebacker. We need to have him in on the inner side of actually blitzing. Or if you are going to play the 3-4, make sure he is on the blitzing packages only. But that's where I would have him. You can't be dropping him or Burns back into coverage, because your whole line is screwed at that point. Dexter Lawrence gets covered by two people constantly. They've seen the film. It's clear as the regression for his stats go this year, and they need to amplify that more. They need to show more of the edge rushing to take that pressure off of your star player of Dexter Lawrence. And that's my opinion.
I've been saying this from game one because we've seen it back in week one, and I've mentioned this. Why are you not just sending your guys? Like, this has been a constant thing for the Giants.
Yeah.
And even from week one on, you've seen Abdul Carter constantly, every single game, getting pressures, upping his pressures with the quarterback, putting the quarterback in these hard decisions to throw the ball and make these bad decisions. And it's just, you send him back in coverage where he's not, okay, maybe he can play coverage linebacker at times, but you don't want one of your better ends or one of your better edges to be in coverage 50% of the plays. It's just, in my opinion, that's inexcusable. When he's the one getting the pressure more than Thibodeau, like you said. Thibodeau, yeah, okay. Maybe he has 2 sacks this year or 3. I don't know exactly how many sacks. But it's like Abdul Carter is the one that's mainly causing the ruckus in the backfield to get these other players pressures.
Him and Burns.
And get their chances.
Burns has been playing fantastic. He's definitely on my
And
my
Burns
list
is looking like a...
defensive player of the year.
Burns is looking like the defensive player of the year, and it's clear.
He's playing not clear. There's still Benito of the Broncos still has a very, very good shot at it. He's I think also there.
I mean, I think the sacks have an impact on the draft, and I think he's at 10 sacks now.
He was
and his lead is pretty high.
He got 10 sacks. Did he get any this week? He didn't get a single sack this week. Actually, he has 1 tackle for loss though. All right, so he has no sacks, two QB hits. So I don't know if he's still in first right now, because I know there are others that are close too.
He's at 11. Him and Myles Garrett are tied at 11.
Myles Garrett. Okay, so they're both at 11 right now. All right. So then, they're pretty much tied up there. And Myles Garrett's. I mean, I'm not even gonna say Myles Garrett as of right now, because Myles Garrett got 5 with him in 1 game, which is incredible. Don't get me wrong, but he was kind of like how he said Micah Parsons was having a lackluster start of his season. Same thing happened with Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett really wasn't doing anything for the first couple of games as far as sacks wise. He was very good at pressuring the quarterback, don't get me wrong, but he was not getting the sacks, kind of like an Abdul Carter situation. But yeah, he's kind of racked them up as we went on towards the season. So he is heating up for sure. But I think like Brian Burns has been the consistent factor throughout the entirety of each game. Impacts on every game.
Brian Burns has been a consistent. Like, you watch all these other games, and Brian Burns, when you watch the Giants, you see him being one of the aggressors of the Giants defense, getting in the backfield, constantly disrupting the offense on the other team, making it hard, along with him and Abdul Carter on the Giants defense. I mean, and like I said, to get Dexter Lawrence off these double teams, you need to send more pressure, because Dexter Lawrence can be up there with the sacks total, but he's getting double teamed, and other teams are just constantly sending double teams at him. And it's what's his name on the Giants? Oh my God, who's our other tackle right now that's getting sacks? That's working with him.
There's multiple. He's been with a
Uh,
few. My guy's
Robinson
Darius, the
Harris.
new guy. I love Darius. Darius has been the guy for me.
Yeah, Darius Alexander's been
Yeah,
good, but
yeah, I love him.
Robinson Harris has been also getting some sacks because he got
Yeah,
one last game too. And you're seeing the other tackles get the chances, and he's not. So it's showing that Dexter Lawrence is struggling with the double team. You have to get that off of him. You have to apply pressure to the other offense to not let them double team guys. And it's just not happening this year, and I just don't understand why. I can't wrap my head around it as a Giants fan.
I think we'll see more of it. Here's how I'm looking at it, right? The positive light of what I'm looking at is the pressure that he's taking is now allowing someone like Brian Burns to get off the edge and get in. And that's where I'm kind of taking it. Obviously, you're never going to have a perfect line, but I
Yeah, but
feel
you're
that's
never
kind of
going
what
to
we're having
double
right
team
now.
a guy on the edge. And
Yeah,
I hate
of course,
to say this.
but you're not going to also like you're going to have to pull your guard to Dexter Lawrence. You're not going to just keep him over there. So you're not typically going to double team, but like you're not going to be able to switch off of the other guy either. You can't switch off of Dexter Lawrence. You can't go help the tackle going against
Oh no,
Brian
I
Burns.
agree.
So
That,
he has to keep that whole middle of the field basically to himself. And I think that opens up the field for the rest of the guys. But now we need the other guys to also step up to where they could also help Dexter Lawrence make sure that he's not able to get in. And to make sure he's able to get in, because that's what we need. We need Abdul Carter in there every play. We need one defensive tackles, whoever you want to put in there. That's fine by me. I like Darius Alexander for personally. Third round pick, phenomenal so far this year. Every game I've seen him in, he's been playing great. We just need more help in the backfield. Honestly, like I said since the beginning, we need a linebacker. A linebacker is huge. Okereke has been great. Not even going to hold him, but we still lack other linebacker coverage out there, and you can't be putting Abdul Carter or anyone else back there to keep them from. It just doesn't make sense to me. Move him over to the edge position. Let him play the left edge or the right edge, and let that be it. But don't move this guy back to a coverage linebacker position when he's not a coverage linebacker. First off, now not only are you not getting pressure, you're going to get burnt either way because he's just not good at coverage. Why would you put him back there? It makes no sense to me. Um, but you know what? We brought up Myles Garrett earlier, and I would like to bring up the wonderfulness of that Cleveland Browns versus New York Jets game. I don't know if you had a chance to see this game, but this was
I heard it was a train wreck.
a train wreck. I don't even know would describe this game perfectly. This game was the battle to see who can be worse than the other, and the Browns they won. They won the battle of the bad because not winning the game. I just mean that they won it being the worst. Because
Yeah.
the Jets won this game, and the Jets won this game in a fashion that only, and I mean only, the Jets can win. In the last 255 scenarios in which the team that's losing here, which would be the Cleveland Browns, has not turned over the ball, has not allowed touchdowns to really thrown, and has not turned over the ball themselves with actual touchdown thrown, they somehow lost to the New York Jets, who threw 60. So who did he throw? 54 yards total,
Justin
and
Fields, yeah, 54 yards. I was just gonna say something. I'm
and
like,
that came
how
off
did
of
they
two
end up
plays.
winning this?
Two plays. They had two return touchdowns. One for a punt return, 74 yards, and one for a kick return, a full 99-yard kick return. That's where they won. Oh, and then of course Brees Hall. Brees Hall being who Brees Hall is, and then yeah, and then somehow they found a way to win. I don't even know. I'm not even. I'm still lost on this all. Um, None of it makes much sense to me.
I mean, I didn't watch this game, and just from the stats line, I see Brees Hall has 42 yards, so I'm guessing that's where all
That was the
Justin
one play.
Fields' yards came from.
And get this, it wasn't like he bombed it out to him. This was a simple check down because he was getting pressured. He couldn't find anyone, and he threw it to him on the side of him, and he just ran. And that was it. That was the touchdown. So Justin Fields had no matter in the play of it being fantastic. All right, that was all Brees. Just gonna put that out there. That was all Brees. The Jets, even with this win now, which
But the defense showed up.
huh?
The defense on the Jets showed up for everybody complaining that they lost 2 people.
I'm not even sure how that works.
McDonald came out there and had 4 sacks. Like, that's a big game for him.
McDonald is a beast, and he is the cornerstone of what the Jets need to keep him and Jermaine Johnson. I know that Vic would touch on it too if he was here right now. But them two together is great. They need that center. They got rid of Quinn Williams. I still don't agree with the move. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I still don't agree with both moves.
I don't agree with both moves. Yeah, honestly, I really don't. I do not agree with both moves. But we're not even going to touch that subject because we talked enough about it last week, and I don't want to go more into it, knowing that we just went through all that, and that was just a horrible trade for me personally. I just think they lost on that end, unless they manage to come out and pull some good draft picks. Right? That's the only way they could salvage this. Is if you get the draft picks to manage.
You are hoping that this draft is panning out better than it's expected to.
Not even just that. You're hoping that this draft is panning out better than it is, and then you just won a game against the Cleveland Browns to now drop your draft stock down to the 5th pick.
Now moving back from 3 to 5, and the
What
Giants
are you doing?
jumping you and getting your pick.
Like, what are you doing? Like, props to them for winning. This was not the game to win.
I mean, yeah, but what on a 2-game win streak now? And like Vic said, this would be something the Jets would do.
I don't.
Instead, this last week, he came into this being like, "Oh, I want us to win out the rest of the year," and so far 2 wins.
I don't get it. I just don't. I don't understand it. So, anyway.
And apparently I saw this too. The Jets have, in the last 4 years or 5 years, the Jets are they have a half game in hand against the Giants to be the better team.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's possible, but
because you can tell both
we're in
teams.
this time frame.
If you were to put the Giants versus the Jets right now, I'm sorry, Jets fans, because I like the Jets myself, but I am a Giants fan through and through. And if you were to put both teams
At this rate, I think the Jets are winning. I don't even know. I don't even know.
You put it.
I don't. I mean, okay, but how many fourth quarter collapse have we had?
Huh?
How many fourth quarter collapse? We can be up 30-something against
not
them,
against this team.
and
not against this
team.
Not against this
and
team.
the fourth quarter, we'll just blow it away, and the Jets will come back and win.
That can't happen. Not against us. No, I refuse. I refuse to believe that.
You refuse, but just look at the stats on how things played out this year. It's just something the Giants would do.
I'm refusing to stress myself out over this right now, so I'm just not going to stress myself out. So we're just gonna. I want to just talk about where do these teams go next. So when you're talking with the Giants, right? Let's talk about the Giants. Where do the Giants go next after this? Like, where is it that we're taking them in the off season? Because clearly you're not making the playoffs this year. The NFC is stacked. Right? You're already looking towards next year. Jackson Dart's got a concussion protocol. We're likely going to see, unfortunately, Russell Wilson for the next couple of games. I really wish they would just put Jameson Winston in there and just let him sling the ball and have a good time. That'll be so much more fun to watch than whatever the hell Russell Wilson is doing. So what is it that you're looking towards going into the offseason? What are your plans for coaching changes? Do you have a coach in mind that you would like to see? What do you do with Sean as GM, and what do you do with the draft?
I don't know what coaches are available, so I can't speak on that. On what coaches are going to be available, what coaches are looking to get the head coaching job this year coming up, or what coordinators are looking to get the starting job. I really don't know. And I know some colleges coaches are looking to come make the step into the NFL, but at the same time, do you really want to give a college coach a shot at this team? I don't agree. I don't think so. I think at the state that we are in right now, you do not want to go college again, because after going from Joe Judge and Schumer and through all these coaches we have, I don't think you want to go backwards and get a college coach. I think you want somebody that has proven in the NFL that they can be a head coach. So I really don't know the options there yet. I would have to look into that. But from what the Giants need, and I know we're talking about this, they need an offensive tackle, they need a guard, they need a linebacker, they need cornerbacks. But when you're looking at the Giants, like you touched on, you already have your quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
And yes, I get it. You have to take into consideration from how many times he had the concussion protocol, if he's gonna still be that concussion protocol guy. Just like I said, mention Tua because he's been the more concussion protocol quarterback we've seen in recent years. I think you have to basically sidetrack a little this draft. Not saying that you really have to, but when you're looking at a draft that has weak cornerbacks and everything, and you're looking at the wide receivers options in this draft, I think they're going to pivot the Giants, and I said this last week. I think they're going to pivot to a wide receiver this draft because, like you said, you already have your elite, you already have your franchise wide receiver there. And what, you're going to make Malik Neighbors be that guy all year and not have a number two? I just think that's heinous and more so a crime on Malik Neighbors, just relying on him so much. I think you need to get another guy to help him out. And when you look at the wide receivers in the draft this year, from Jordan Tyson, who's coming out from Arizona State, that has been looking like the number one wide receiver option so far. You're looking at him. You're looking at Cornell Tate. You're looking at Makai Lemon. And you're looking at these three wide receivers, and out of the three wide receivers on this board that I would take is probably Cornell Tate, like I mentioned this last week. Cornell Tate has been looking like one of those wide receivers, especially this year, that stepped up his game from a good wide receiver to an elite wide receiver. He's just one of those guys that at the side, you're getting a big guy at wide receiver. You're getting somebody that has upped his route running game, especially this year. I would take Cornell Tate on the Giants because, like you said, you're adding size and speed to the roster. You're also adding somebody that's a really good route runner. And with Wan'Dale Robinson, you put him in the slot, and then you have your three guys, and you build off of that. And then you work around. After you get that, then next year you try to get a tackle in this draft if you can, one that catches your eye later in the rounds. But I think with the first pick, because if you look at the first pick off the boards this year, the Giants are going to basically, from what they've been doing this year, are going to have anywhere from a number 1 to a number 5 pick. And when you look at the other teams in that slot, you have the Saints right now at number 2, the Browns at number 4, and the Jets at number 5. These are all teams that need quarterbacks. They're not going to draft a wide receiver ahead of them. So wide receivers should be on the board.
But the Titans
might. Yeah, you have the Titans that might, but at the end of the day, we've been talking about them. I think they need more tackle than anything. Or they need to up the defense. So it's kind of hard to say with the Titans where they're going to go because, yeah, you can give the Titans a number 1 receiver. But I think the Giants are in the best slot to take a wide receiver right now. The way that their team is built, other than these other teams. And I think Cornell Tate will just fit into this offense and make it be a better offense for Jackson Dart to shine in.
By the way, before anyone, because I keep eating stuff, I'm eating Tic Tacs, so I just wanted to make sure everyone knew I wasn't like popping anything on film. I'm eating just Tic Tacs.
Yeah, don't worry, it's not drugs, guys.
I agree. I think the Giants right now, for me, they got to go wide receiver. I think it's their first and foremost what they got to do. They need to build this offense up. They need to find an identity. And right now, I think they have an identity right now on both sides of the ball, which is very fortunate. On top of that, it's very, very lucky that you are a top 5 pick when you already feel like you have your franchise quarterback. Not many teams can go into that situation and say the same. So when you go into this draft looking at the top 5 picks and you don't need a quarterback, you are in a blessed position. So right now for me, it's what is your pick? What is it that you're looking at? Because I think the Titans, Cam Ward is obviously going to be their guy, at least for a little bit. We don't know how he's going to really pan out. For me, I'm not like too crazy of a fan of him right now. After watching him throughout the season, But
He's
I don't
also the
think they're going
most
for a
sacked
quarterback.
quarterback. So it's like, do you really want to go number one? Do you really want to throw away your number one pick on a wide receiver and still not have uh, that built up O line to stop him from getting sacks and just go in wide receiver and saying,
Also
here,
true.
try to sling the ball
Also
down the
true.
field?
Also
It's
true.
they're in a sticky situation, the Titans. They're looking at, when you look at the Giants have a competent O line. Well, I mean, yeah, okay, you only have to fill up the tackle and guard position, but it's just the Giants. The Giants need to pivot and not go linebacker or cornerback and go wide receiver in this draft. I think if they go any other position, it's kind of a slap in the face to Giants fans.
I feel you on that. I personally, for me right now, wide receiver is your main thing that you need to get above with. I do want to see them get some defensive picks too, but right now, and I'm hoping that these last couple of games don't throw them off from getting a wide receiver. I personally feel this is what they need. I do want to see them get another offensive tackle. Like I said, they need to replace that right tackle, which is not for me. They need they need to get someone over there to fill up that gap because I just feel like that tackle position is just wide open for the taking, and they need that. Um, for me right now, if I'm a Giants fan, that's what I'm doing. As I'm going to get him, I'm going to get a wide receiver, whether it be Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate. And I think Carnell Tate is honestly the guy I'm looking at currently with the stats that I've seen from him, and I like him at Ohio State. I'm not really mad at it, so I would like to go see him be picked. Um, and if you aren't going to go wide receiver, please, for the love of God, make sure you get an offensive tackle. Because that's the next position I'm going to say that they need to go for if they're not going to get a wide receiver. I would say offensive tackle is the next guy. Yes, again, a Utah guy, Spencer Fano, coming out 6'6". The guy looks crazy big and whatnot. I would like to see them go after someone like him high up in the draft and maybe get an offensive tackle. It's not the most fun pick, but I could see them really utilizing something like that to come out. But I think the offensive tackle position looks to be pretty heavy, or not maybe not pretty heavy, but they look pretty good in my eyes. So maybe don't have to necessarily go for them if you're not going to go for it. But honestly, those are the two biggest positions right now I could see that you need, and then followed by a linebacker. You definitely do need a linebacker, but I'm not going to get one anytime in the first round. Definitely not. Not for them. Not with this draft. From at least from what I'm looking at, Dan, you can kind of corroborate for me here, because you know more college stuff than I do. Um, but if I'm looking at linebacker right now, the linebacker pool also seems pretty dim this draft coming
Yeah,
into it.
the only one that really sticks out to my eye is Avriel Reese from Ohio State, and he's been looking like a stud at linebacker. But at the same time, it's like he's projected fourth, and do you really want to waste that pick on a fourth guy when you when you are still trying to build up? He's projected to go fourth this draft, and do you really want to waste your pick on that? I don't know. I would rather much try to take a wide receiver that early than just going with a linebacker.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I said, wide receiver right now for me is the way to go. I know everyone's kind of looking at this. Everyone's kind of looking at that running back position as well for the Jeremiah Love. But I think after looking at Genty, what he's done this year, don't get me wrong, he's still gonna be a really good back. But please don't go wide receiver. Don't go running back first for any team. Just don't do that. I just feel like
I
such
don't
a
think you
waste.
need to go running back on the Giants either
Not for
because
the
you have
Giants. I'm saying any
Scatabo.
team in general. Just please don't. But yeah, wide receiver is the pick I would go for. And in my wide receivers, like who's the wide receiver that you see the most? Like who do you want to see on the Giants? For me, like I said, it's gonna be Carnell Tate. That's the guy I want to see, 6'3", 195 right now at Ohio State. Yes, he's ranked lower than Jordan Tyson, but I like the way I have seen actually stuff from him. From Carnell Tate, I've tried to keep up with a couple of the guys here that are up and coming, especially for Giants draft picks, just because I feel like we need to touch on that. We need to see what's going on. But that's who my pick is here. Is I'm going to go with Carnell Tate for the Giants as the third overall pick if they have him there.
Like I said, I mentioned the three wide receivers that I think are going to be the main wide receivers everybody's going to be looking at. Jordan Tyson, Makai Lemon, and Carnell Tate. Out of those three guys, I think Carnell Tate has the most upside. Coming from his college play to NFL play, I think is just going to adapt better than all the other three guys. because Carnell Tate, like I said, he had the size and speed, and he improved his route running this year. So he's just looking as one of the better developed guys coming out of college this year, in my opinion. And
Okay.
I would like to see the Giants try to go for him.
So now, same question, obviously, about the Jets. We're going to talk about Jets. We are going to focus a little bit more on New York sports a little bit more, just because we have more knowledge in that than anything. We do like to keep up with the league as well, but I think those are like the main biases right now that we can look to. So if you're a Jets fan, if you're looking as a Jets, who's your first round pick? You have two this draft, mind you. They have two with the Colts pick as well, which the Colts right now are, and obviously they're the number one seed in the AFC. I think, or maybe the Patriots knocked them out of that this week, with them also being 8-2. But I do know at least they are either number one or two right now in the AFC. So as of right now, you're looking at like the number 30 to 32 spot at the
Right now
moment.
it says that there's 32.
32. So they're the 32nd spot right now in the draft. So you have potentially a top five, and you have an end of the round first round pick. If you're the Jets, where are you going and why for both of these picks?
I think with the Jets, you're gonna be looking at quarterback because I'm sorry, I mean it's Sour Patch Kids.
Stop eating Sour Patch Kids. At least I'm talking with these things. You
I
have two.
think I think they're gonna go quarterback because, like you said, I don't think Justin Fields is the guy, and they're struggling right now at quarterback. You're seeing Justin Fields not being able to read the field and everything. And I get that you want to try another year out with him, but if you try another year out on him, you're just going to be stuck in the same position on the quarterback cycle that you see a lot of these teams that are struggling with trying to find their guy. How many years do you want to test run a quarterback before you actually pull the trigger and get in a quarterback in a draft? And I think right now the best options for the Jets that are going to be available at five is probably going to be Ty Simpson. I touched on him briefly from in last week. Ty Simpson, after his loss to Florida State University, he's been having one of the better touchdowns to interception ratios, and he's just been looking like a complete package at quarterback. He's not holding on to the ball that often. If he does hold on to the ball, he looks for other options and uses his feet. But after his dropbacks, he tends to get the ball out and down to his guys that are his receiving core at Alabama. So Alabama has been definitely looking like a better team after their struggle at the beginning of the year. And Ty Simpson is a main reason why that they've been looking better on the offensive side. And I think he's just gonna be the pick that the Jets are gonna go for. Because yeah, you have Dante Moore at Oregon, and then you have a few other options, but the other options just don't look as developed as Dante Moore and Ty Simpson, and Dante Moore is projected to go higher than Ty Simpson right now. I just think he's going to be that guy for the Jets going into the future.
Okay. Say the Saints get him first, right? Because I think we touched on it already. The Saints might go for him. The Saints might go
I think
for
they're
him.
going to go for Dante Moore.
Yeah, you think so? Okay.
Hmm.
What's the reason why you have him going to there instead of Ty Simpson?
I just think people are under. I think the loss to FSU, Florida State University, is definitely impacting him in the draft odds because of how bad that game was. I think just Dante Moore has been having a more consistent season, record standing wise. And I know, like, these scouts tend to look at, they tend to see, like, the player and see, like, oh, okay, are they on a good team or anything? They take the losses into high accountability, how they perform throughout these teams. Oregon has been one of the teams that has constantly been in the top 25 for college. It's just very hard to go past how big of a year Oregon State has been having because they are 8-1, and same thing with Alabama, they're 8-1. But that loss to FSU has been one of the main reasons why people have been looking them over because it was a very bad loss. And it's just I don't know. I think people are gonna just hop on Dante Moore better because he's looking like a better or the better overall quarterback right now.
Okay. I gotta ask you just because again you know more. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about Indiana's quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. Like that's been the guy that everyone's kind of been hinting at for the Jets. Is there a reason why you think that they might take him over someone like a Ty Simpson or a Deontay Moore or anyone else above him? Really, is there a reason why you see they would take Fernando Mendoza over someone like them? Because I've been seeing buzz around him. People want him to go to the Jets that are Jets fans.
Fernando Mendoza is actually projected. I did a quick mock draft before this, and they actually have Fernando Mendoza going to the Saints.
Okay. So he's looking like he's gonna be up there then. So people are like looking the buzz for him though. Like that's see when you have these other guys up top. Why is Fernando Mendoza the guy that people are rejecting to go to someone like the Saints or the Jets or someone up as high when you have these other guys above him ranked above him so far in college rankings?
That I don't know because the whole college thing comes into situations where like you're looking at Indiana, and Indiana has been this year a consistent team, but it's like where has Indiana been in the previous years? They haven't really been a playoff or a top 25 ranked team, and it's like they found their quarterback, and I haven't really been following much of Fernando Mendoza or Indiana in general. But Indiana does look like the one of the better teams this year. But it's like again, you go if they do go up against say like Ohio State and Alabama or Georgia, a Notre Dame, or even some of these higher seeds teams. I mean, they did beat Oregon, and they did beat Penn State. It's kind of like, okay, those are the only top teams that you've beaten so far. Have you played against an SEC team this year? And it's like, no. The answer is no. So it's like, where are you going to rank his capability against these SEC teams? Because the SEC has been one of the top conferences in college forever now.
Okay.
And he's also going to have to go up against Ohio State, and Ohio State has been proven
right
time and time again that they've been getting better. So it's like, can he keep up with those type of teams? Who knows? That question is to be determined in the college playoffs when that start.
And Ohio State is undefeated right now, aren't they? Aren't they like 9-0 at the moment, or something like that?
They're 9-0 yet.
You know, trying to keep up a little bit. I am trying to test my knowledge a little bit more and put it in there because I don't want to like seem a little lackluster in there. And then I guess for the first round pick here, who do you have them going for as the second guy, the end of the first round draft?
That's going to be tough for the Jets because I really don't know. And you look at the Jets and it's like they need to build up that offensive line? People are saying that offensive line is still young. You want them to work together to prove that they're good. You're going to have to go cornerback. You're going to have to go linebacker. You're going to have to go D-tackle because you lost two cornerstone pieces at the cornerback and the tackle position. And it's just very hard to see where they're going to go after that. Are you going to put all your eggs in a cornerback or a D-tackle at that point? Who knows?
For me, personally.
Or even trade that pick up to try to get into a higher draft pick. Because you could also look at the draft capability that they have next year. And are you going to rely on trading away one of those picks to move up in this year's draft?
For me right now, I'm a little bit indifferent about the Jets as far as who they go for first. I think what you say kind of, to me, can make sense for them going for a quarterback, right? They do need one, and that's desperate. But I don't know how deep the draft is this year for QB or how deep the next year's draft will be. But I don't know. It's like for me, I'll cause a little controversy here, right? So I'm gonna go the kind of reverse. I think what I want to see out of this team right now is I don't think that Justin Fields is the guy. He's not the guy. To me, he's just not. I don't. I think he was a good pickup for this year. 100%. I did, and I would repeat it again to bringing him into the year for this year. I don't think that he is the reason why this team has been bad. He is a part of it, but he's not the sole reason for why this team has been bad this entire season. So for me, if I'm looking at the Jets right now, I'm kind of looking at the same position, um, depending on where they fall, and let's say they get like the number 5 pick or something like that. We'll go where they're at right now. If they're at the number 5 pick, I am gonna try. I think the Jets don't have what the Giants have, right? The Giants already have an identity of what we know of, right? We already know that they're planning on blitzing you on defense. We already know that on offense we have Malik Neighbors. They know you're gonna run it down your throat with Cam Scatabo, or we know that we're gonna go with Jackson Dart, who will air it out to anyone he wants to. For me, they have a good offense, and they're gonna go with wide receiver. The Jets need to build that around. They clearly kept Brees Hall. We don't know if he's going to stay in the offseason, if they franchise tag him or something like that. But Brees Hall's had continuous difficulties wanting to be a part of this team. So I don't know if he'll stay here after this year. So we might end up seeing him be a part of the free agency. So for me, looking at this, if I'm trying to look at an identity, if they do manage to keep him on the team, you have a running back, right? Correct? Awesome. Brees Hall's amazing. I think he's at least a top 15 running back in this league. And if you give him the right tools to succeed, he could even be a top 10 running back in my eyes to where I'm looking at him. Great running back. I like the guy a lot. But I do think that the Jets need something along the lines of a better pass game, and I think that Garrett Wilson, as good as he is, no quarterback is going to come here and succeed with just Garrett Wilson as your guy. You need someone, just like how I said the Giants, they have Wan'Dale Robinson as their short guy who reminds me of Garrett Wilson, and then they have a Malik Neighbors. The Jets don't have that. The Jets have the Garrett Wilson, but they don't have someone like a Malik Neighbors. They need someone out there that can go get you the ball long. They need someone who is a deep threat receiver. They need someone who can cut through the middle, who has good route running. They need something along those lines, and I felt like they should have. I don't know how chances are with them having gotten him, but man, I would have loved if they would have gotten Brian Thomas Jr. I know they said that he was basically untradeable, I guess, towards the end of that draft, at the end of that trade deadline. But that's what I would have loved to see, because then that would have fixed a lot of their problems. Because then, yes, I would have said full eggs in a basket, go for quarterback first thing. I would have just gone for quarterback, and then my secondary pick would have been, I would have gone defense, because honestly, as long as you have that wide receiver next to Garrett Wilson, the O-line I think is okay enough to where I can see them doing something. Maybe not. We have complained about them. Their big thing is they need to make sure they stay disciplined, because they've taken a lot of penalties over the first half of the season. They started slowing down, but then again, they really haven't been able to give the quarterback time, or when they have given them time, quarterback hasn't been able to succeed. But there's no semblance of anything, a good recipe going into that offense. It's like you're trying to make a cake and they took flour, dumped one egg in it, not even cracked, they whisked it around and expected to make a cake. And they don't have that right now. They don't have a cake, and then they added soda into it. What are you guys doing? They need to come up with a genuine way of making something that can actually be a puzzle piece to their offense. And I think a wide receiver is the way they're going to have to go for it. So for me, I'm looking at Bernard, the wide receiver out of Alabama. For me, if they were going to go for something, unless they can get him, I don't know how many wide receivers really need to be going out this year. I don't know how many people are going to be snagging them out in the first round. Maybe we'll kind of look more in depth to that. We'll talk about it more next week. But Bernard out of Alabama right now would be my first pick. And then I would maybe go for a quarterback towards the end of the round. Maybe going for someone like, I know maybe he's not ranked up there to be a first round pick, but maybe someone like Carson Beck out of Miami. I've heard his name. I've seen him. I don't mind him. I don't know if he's going to be the franchise QB or not, but no one really thought that Dart coming into this. Everyone thought that the Giants were stupid for going for Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders. And the verdict is still out on that, because we still haven't seen Shedeur Sanders really out there. But that's what I would do. Personally, I would still go for a wide receiver first. I think that you need to go for a wide receiver first, because you need to build around. They keep going through this carousel of quarterbacks, and it's kind of tiring to see. They need to stop going through the same cycles. I don't care how good the quarterback is. Even if they miss out on him and they take someone over him, get another wide receiver that you know is good. I would be fully in depth and look into these wide receivers and picking the wide receiver that you need that will match Garrett Wilson's energy on this team, and get him. You need guys out there for this team to succeed, and stop going for the quarterback position every draft because we just keep seeing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And it's tiring after a while. You need something else other than a quarterback on this team right now. So for me, that's where I'm at. I would personally go with that. I would straight up go with a wide receiver, maybe Renard out of Alabama, like I said, and then if you want to pick up a quarterback afterwards, maybe go with, like I said, Carson Beck. You could even grab in the second round. They do have 2 second-round picks as well. So even in the first round, if you did want to split it up and go for an offensive tackle, or maybe even another a cornerback, if you want to try to replace Sauce Gardner or something like that, you could go for someone like Mansour Delani, out of LSU, whatever the case is, or one of these guys up here. But right now, I think your best bet is wide receiver is the first pick, and then second, I'm going for quarterback at the very, very least. And that's how I just have it ranking right now. That's where I'm at right now with this team, because they need to find some semblance of normalcy coming into that offense, and I think quarterback is just going to keep throwing them right back into the waters. Because yeah, wide receiver first to me. You just go with the wide receiver. Get one, pick up 2 even. You have a second round pick, grab one of them in there too. I don't know, go all out. Let's make an offensive identity for this team. Let's build something. Something needs to be built on this team, and I can't see them going for anything else than an offense in this first round. Whew, wow, that was long-winded. All right. Hey, well, we've been here for about an hour. Let's say we take a little tempo change. How you feel like talking about the NHL? You feel like talking some hockey, Dan?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so hockey. So in 1928, right? So the I want to we're going to talk about the Rangers here. I want to get your take on it because I'm going to be talking a lot for this Rangers part here, just because I have a lot to say about the Rangers. We did have some other hockey topics that I wanted to talk about, but maybe we'll save it for when Vic's here because I put some of those together because of us being Rangers fans, and I put some of them together because I know that Vic is more of like a Pittsburgh Capitals fan, kind of in the way of that. So we'll talk more about other teams, but I kind of wanted to talk about the Rangers real quick. The Rangers just won their first home game of the season. They have finally got something going on there with that.
Damn time.
About damn time, exactly. And then on top of that,
and not just scoring 1 goal. We actually scored 5 goals.
6
wow,
goals.
or 6.
6 goals.
We actually scored 6 goals. Like, oh my God, that's surprising. We tied just how much.
Yeah.
We scored when we first won.
Yeah. So that was the first time they won. So I don't know if you've seen the game. I don't know if you watched it or not.
I did watch the game.
Okay, so if you did watch the game, what was your take on it? How did you feel about this game?
I think Perreault came into that first line and actually looked like a stud on that first line. He had his chances. He had that chance at the beginning, or it was early. Was it early or late in the first period? It was either the first period or the second period, where
with the post or with the off the post
he
thing?
No. It's when Saros slid over and he almost scored in the opposite post.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was looking good, Perreault. He seemed to be gelling with the first line, and like everybody was worried that Gabe Perreault was not going to be on that first line, and Mike Sullivan shocked everybody and put him up there, gave him his opportunity. Because I know that was a thing for you all throughout the week. You were praying, especially on Twitter with your friends. Please put him on that first line. And he did it. And I think that's a shock to everybody because we're so used to, like you've been saying, we're so used to seeing them in the bottom 6 and not being developed. And Mike Sullivan, for some reason, sees something in Perreault that I think every one of the fans do, that he can be that offensive guy that we need on that line to gel them together. And he did. I mean, yeah, okay, Mika had the first goal, but the whole team just looked completely different in this home game than they have in recent home games. But the kid did impress me in this first game.
was sending out a text message. This game was so good. Guys, you're gonna realize real quick when it comes to this podcast stuff that
Just how much he loves hockey.
just how much that I love hockey. We haven't touched on it because I wanted to make sure because Dan does follow hockey, Vic follows hockey too, but I'm a fanatic. Like I Dan's major strong point is baseball, Vic's is football, mine is hockey,
Yes.
which we are going to try to incorporate more of all three. And then the next edition, because right now like I'm kind of crunch for time myself, so on the next edition of the podcast, whenever it's just me and Dan again, maybe we'll touch more on the baseball side of stuff, so he has more ability to kind of like talk about it, and we can kind of go over free agency stuff, where I'll let him pick a couple of topics and we'll kind of just talk about it there. But I want to start off with, before we even get into the game, Mike Sullivan on Peralt being on the top 6. Our intention is to try to set him up for success so he can play with his strengths. So in other words,
I saw that quote too before the game.
I don't know that makes a whole lot of sense to call a player like that and then throw him into a bottom 6 role.
That was before the game, right? Or that
was before
was that
the
after?
Game. Every New York sportsman, every New York Rangers fan, I want you to hear me loud and clear. Because you know what? I've been defending Lafreniere, who got the same treatment from every other coach that we've seen. You can call him a bus, you can call him whatever you want. But this whole entire development cycle for the Rangers has continued on and on and on. So where it's not even just Lafreniere. Happened with Kakko, happened with Hedl, happened with a lot of other first-round draft picks that we've received in the past more than 13 years. Honestly, it happened with our captain, JT Miller, because JT Miller was not more than a 45-point scorer before he left to the Tampa Bay, and then went to Vancouver, and then became a 70, 80, 90, even 100-plus scorer on the season. It was not until he left us that he became good. Bushnevich went to the Blues as a star. He went to the Blues as a star and became a superstar. He was already good, and they got rid of him. Okay,
JT.
We have been shoving top talent down below veteran help because we feel like the veterans are going to win us the game, and it's just not going to be the case here. Someone that is 34 years old and is getting a 7-year contract from the Rangers is not going to help. We don't need someone like a Rick Nash. We don't need someone like a lot of people, honestly. A Gabrick. We don't need these guys coming onto the Rangers and shoving down our talent. We've done this long enough. It is not 1994 anymore. Rangers fans, please wake up and get your head right out of the Statue of Liberty's bung. Because seriously, we need to start developing the talent that we have, that we are growing. We don't need to keep trading for it. It is 2025. The system is exactly what it looks like. So, with Mike Sullivan going in, and I'll go on a whole big rant about that later on if you guys like hearing hockey. If you do enjoy it, please let me know. Follow along, subscribe, and let me know that you want to hear more hockey rants, because I will give you hours of it. I'll make a whole podcast it'll be a solo podcast just called Pat Rants, and we'll just do a whole thing about, actually to do that, but there's a whole thing about...
you can do short clips.
Huh?
You can do shorts.
Yeah, I can do... No, I can't. I'm too long-winded for the shorts right now with this. There's so much I have to say about
Isn't there like a 3-minute short that you can do too? I think they increased the time.
It would still be too short for me. I have about a good 45 minutes to an hour on this topic alone.
Quick interruption here. Wasn't JT was not putting up the numbers that he was in Vancouver with the Lightning either, right?
No,
it's when he went to Vancouver he started putting up more.
He did better in Tampa Bay than he did with the Rangers, but it was when he started getting out of that. Once he fully broke out of that whole New York Rangers development mind, he started going off. He did great on Vancouver. He made the team his own, and he put it on his back, and he went out, and he did really good. There were other guys there. So don't get me wrong. I know Vancouver fans are probably going to come at me for that. Yes, they have Pettersson. They have a lot of other guys on that team too. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that, simply put, JT Miller was great on that team, even though they don't feel like he was, because he was a locker room cancer to the Vancouver Canucks, which I completely understand why you guys got rid of him. Even as a Rangers fan, I was still hesitant on keeping him here as a New York Ranger because I didn't want that energy back on our team. I didn't want to have that back coming here, and I didn't want another veteran status to shove one of the up-and-coming rookies that we could potentially get come up and ruin that as well, because we just need to get away from that whole cycle. But anyway, going into the game, Peralt I love Pearl. I think he played with confidence. I compared him in a post of mine that I put on Facebook into a Facebook group. That I compared him to the Jackson Dart of what I see in the NHL. The reason why I said it is because this kid plays with full on confidence, plays with the swagger. He doesn't come into this being all.
He's still very young.
He's still very young, but he's coming into this with a very very much big swagger that he needs to have. He's not coming into this like, okay, I'm in the big leagues. Let me tuck my tail between my legs. He's coming into this like, I'm in the big leagues. I'm gonna show you who I am. In the AHL, he was third place at as of before they took him out of the AHL. He was in third
This
place
player of the
for
month
rookie scoring.
this past month.
He was in third place for rookie scoring before he left the AHL, and that was incredible to see. He was doing great numbers on the Hartford Wolfpack. And I know people are wondering what's going on with Othman. Don't concern yourself with him personally. To me, he's like a third. He's a third liner at best, and that was before we even drafted him. I've said a lot. I wish I would have made this channel way beforehand, but he's like a third liner at best to me. Maybe a second liner if he really develops his offensive skills. But he just doesn't have it. He's more of like a check-in line guy. If you have your hopes up on him, I'm sorry. If this is for me, and this could backfire. This is all on video, so this could backfire on me. And it can completely haunt me, and then be put on the jumbotron in MSG because I'm proven wrong that he's so good. On which, you know what? Honestly, I'd rather that. I hope he turns out to be better than what I've expected him to be throughout his juniors and coming into this league. But anyway, to the game. Peralt came out, had a great game. He did have an assist, almost had a goal. He had an assist on a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pass to Lafreniere, who has been hungry. Right now, Lafreniere is in the last 9 games.
On the power play, right?
On the power play, right through the 5-hole, just like he did with the last game he played in, where he scored in, right through the 5-hole again. He is now, I think, 2 goals, 7 assists in his last 9 games. So he's currently got 9 points in 9 games. The kid is heating up. He's looking good. He's looking confident. He's got his swagger, and I need him to keep that. They also brought back the BLT line. We have Brett on one side, Trocheck and Lafreniere on the line too. They put Peralt on the first line, even though I didn't want him. I want him on the first line, but my lineup would have been different. But it works, and I'm not gonna challenge it because they won. Until it starts to digress, if the lines ever do digress, which I hope they don't. If they succeed, perfect, awesome. They just keep it that way. But personally, for me, if I were to have those perfect lines, my lines right now for line 1 would be I would have Lafreniere on the left wing, on his actual natural wing. I would have him on the left wing there. At center, I would have Trocheck, and on the right, I would have Cooley. And I'm not Cooley. Perot. That's who I would have. I would have those 3 as your top line because it just works. Lafreniere plays on the left wing, his natural wing. You have the natural right winger on the natural right wing because right now they're still flip-flopped. Even on the BLT line in Perot's playing left wing on the top line, and Lafreniere's playing right wing on the second line. Doesn't make much sense to me. But they're trying to go with line chemistry. Trocheck, Panarin, and Lafreniere have line chemistry. They showed it. They had however many points. It was 8 points last night with their line altogether. Lafreniere had one goal,
finally
2
got
assists.
his goals.
Lafreniere had 1 goal, 2 assists. Brett looked like he was having fun. He had goals out there. He had 2 points. Trocheck had 2 points and almost had another third one, but they discredited him for the third one against that last goal for Panarin. But overall, I love the first lines. The first 2 lines are great. The third line being Cooley with Laba and Radish is phenomenal. I want that. Keep that up there. That's great. And then the fourth line being what it is. Yes, I would still like to see someone like maybe Othman come in for that. But Carrick is right now my favorite Ranger on the team, and he's been playing fantastic. So having him out there is great. I wish they would have kept that other kid that they just sent down back up in. But this is, right now, as far as we see it, the most complete team that the New York Rangers have had this season, and they just won their first game. They did have a very, very sloppy third period. Trocheck, you need to stay out of the box. Referees, you need to get your eyes checked. I'm not sure what invisible calls you had that game, but last night there were 2 invisible calls that no one could see on a replay that I was still lost on, and I'm fine with calling it down the middle as, oh, that was a bad penalty, but there were just no penalties called that I'm just like, why was that a penalty? There was just nothing here that I was lost. They were game managing. They weren't being referees. They were game managing, And that's exactly what they did. They tried to give Nashville the ability to try to score on us, and it worked. I mean, Wood had a hat trick. He's now the second player to have a hat trick in MSG this season. Celebrini was the first, and it is the fastest any two teams have scored a hat trick in MSG in a single season. So that's crazy to me. Um, but we'll take the good. They got 6 goals. That's a start. Played great. Keep going with that. Stay out of the damn box. I'm very, 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 very happy with the lineups that they have right now. Keep Perreault on the first line. Do not put him on the third, fourth line. Don't scratch him. Don't put him back in the AHL. He's up here. Let's stop doing the same repeated cycles over and over again. He's up here. Let him stay here for the season. There's so much more I want to say. I just don't want to keep going into it because I know I'm gonna have 1,000 different opinions with how I felt about that team. But I like Perreault. I think Perreault played great. I was really happy that he came up. I was not shocked because I said at the beginning of the season too. If you look there anywhere on Twitter or even some of the Facebook groups that I'm in, you'll see that I've been preaching that he's gonna be up here by November, and everyone called me crazy. They said, "Oh, they're only gonna use him when they need him. He'll be up here in like March, or he's gonna stay down here all season." I would have been fine if they would have kept him down all season. Personally, for me, I wanted a rebuild, but he's gonna be up here now. He came in November, like I said he would be. He's up here now. He's playing, and hopefully he stays in for the rest of the season and he plays that line well. And maybe, who knows? Maybe they go from this team that everyone's counting out to now a team that could make the playoffs. I mean, they're only 3 games out of a playoff spot right now, and the Islanders just beat the Devils for their first home loss. And that was another thing here. So the Rangers got their first home win. The Devils got their first home loss. And then, yeah, I mean, the East is still very much for the taking. Very much for the taking. And I'm very happy for it. I'm happy with the Rangers wins. I want to see more out of them. Got to see more out of them. Dan, I don't know if you have the topics on handy for you because I'm working on a limited setup here. So I don't know if you have anything that you want to go into after it. But, like, I have here.
Yeah, you have the Sharks, Calabrini taking over the league by storm.
Oh, well,
Connor Bedard
just
right
go
up there.
into it. Just go into it and not, like, say, like, what I'm writing on damn freaking Discord.
Well, okay.
Whatever.
So
okay.
if you want to talk about it, how do you think these youngins, like you said, Calabrini and Bedard, do you think their impact right now in the league, do you think it's going to be... How long do you think it's going to be before they overtake McDavid and all the young guns now?
Take them over is a big concept because for me that means that there's a big drop off on McDavid and McKinnon and Austin Matthews, and yeah, you can kind of see it here and there. I mean, they're still in the prime of their careers, right? They're like 27 to 29 years old between the three of them. You know, and there's still a lot of game left to be played between the three of these guys here at the top three. If you want to include them as top three, I mean, I know some people don't have Austin Matthews up there. They might have.
I would technically consider them same generation players too.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, they kind of are. I mean, like what Matthews and I know that McKinnon's been here.
I would say they're the 20s generations players. The both of them.
They're 2010 generation because the 2000s is Crosby and Ovechkin. That's that era.
Well, they're not the 10s because they didn't come in the 2019 era. McDavid and everybody.
When did McDavid get drafted?
Or did they?
McDavid's been here since like 2016. Am I wrong?
There's no way he's been here since 2016.
He's been here for about 9 seasons almost, dude.
No way.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. It's been a while. Like, if you go look at it...
No, I don't think it's 9 years.
Dude, come on now. Let's go look. Connor McCaw. You're on a
computer. Shit, yeah, 2015, wow.
See? I knew it was somewhere around. I don't know.
Oh, so he is a 2010s generation player.
Yeah, so he's 20. And then you have Austin Matthews. Matthews
is the same then.
No, I don't know if
because they were a year apart, no?
He got drafted. He got drafted 2016. I knew it was around there. So, and
yeah, it was a year apart.
Yeah, so 1 year apart. Nathan McKinnon. If we go after him, I believe he's the one that's older than the other ones. I think he was like.
So they are 2010s. Okay.
I think he's like 2013.
They're 2010s, and Calabrini and For
Yeah.
Dars out of the 2020s.
Yeah, 2013 for McKinnon. So I was right on that. Yeah. So, I mean, what's it called? Yeah. So I mean, they are the 2010s era. 100%. Like you can't consider them 2020s. Like I'm not a
No, I
2020s
know.
player for them. But for me, yeah, they are the 2010s generation, and Celebrini and Bedard, just to name a few, are this generation's next versions
The
of,
Hudson now,
huh?
from Montreal. Hudson on defense, Lane Hudson.
Yeah. All right. Here's the thing, right? I kind of take this
I mean,
as,
he's came into the league with Storm coming in from last year.
yeah, he has he's still got
He's
McCarr to go
definitely
through though.
developed into a better defenseman this year too.
Yeah, but you still have McCarr to go through for best defenseman. It's really hard to knock off McCarr as the best defenseman in the league.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, it's kind of obvious McCarr has set the tone to be that
yeah.
number one defenseman.
So for me
I
right
mean,
now,
Fox was up there with him, but then Fox declined, and McCarr
here's the
just
thing, right? There's no
took
one up
over.
there. There's no one up there with McCarr. McCarr is consistent through and through. It doesn't matter who he's got on his team. He's consistent. The guy is good. Um, but here's the difference between them, right? So there's when we think it's kind of like the quarterback position, right? When we think hockey, we think the offense. Really everyone cool defense is nice and everyone likes defense, but no one's looking at them as like the guy. No one's like going, okay, that really cornerstone defensive guy is the reason why we're winning this game every single night. No, you're not looking at that. You're looking at someone like a goalie, or you're looking at the offensive men, like an Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid or Nathan McKinnon. You're looking at those guys. So for me, you have we talked about this with football before. We talked about which players are who, right? Um, so if we go on the lines, right, of generational talents, you have the Wayne Gretzky versus the Lemieux, right? You have the Sidney Crosby versus the
Crosby versus
Ovechkin,
Ovechkin.
and now you have in this
And Malkin.
generation.
You could even put Malkin in there too.
Here's here's the thing, right? And I'll go over that because right now for me, well, when you're talking about this generation as of what we are in the middle of right now, it's McDavid versus McKinnon. That is the matchup. Those are the two. Um, you know, and then you have this
You,
generation.
you even have the Matthews, no, with McDavid?
Here's the reason why,
Because it's
right?
a three-way.
Here's
I
the
think it's a three-way for that too.
here's the reason why is because there's generational talents. Generational talents to me, they are just a tad bit better or more generational than any other player could be. So you have players that are really good, like an Austin Matthews. Matthews to me is kind of like it has nothing to do with the scoring. It's the prestige of who he is, right? So you have to me there's Crosby and you have Crosby and you have Ovechkin. Those are the two preliminary guys. Austin Matthews to me would be like the Malkin. Yes, he is really damn talented, and to be best, he could be one, two, or three any given night. But he has his slumps to where I feel like he ends up not being the best player he can be. Toronto, you could hate me. I think he's an amazing player, but for me, it's Nathan McKinnon and McDavid are the two tops, like the top two players in the league, and I equate them to a McDavid. I equate them to a Crosby and an Ovechkin. I think they are the two guys. They are the people that you look at as the poster boys, the rivalry you're looking at. Matthews is still there, but he's again like the Malkin of the group. And then you have like the Kaprizovs, which would be basically the Stamkoses or the trying to think of it, or like the Patrick Kanes and whatnot, the Jonathan Tays. Like you have other players that are fantastic, but they're not the generational two. They are not the generational two. They're not the Wayne Gretzky or the Ovechkin of the era. They're not the Wayne Gretzky or the
Lemieux.
freaking or the Mario Lemieux. They're like the Pavel Bure. There are other guys that are there that are amazing. But when you think of like the guys that lead the rivalry that you're looking at, those are the two I look at. So I can look at Celebrini and Bedard being that for this next generation. As long as they can stay consistent and they work at what they're doing, Celebrini's looking like a monster right now. He's looking fantastic. Bedard, same thing, looking like a damn monster. They look great. And I'm excited to see what they have to offer in the future. But right now, yeah, that's who I have as my two. Austin Matthews, like I said, he is a top three guy. But again, he's the Malkin of the group to me. where I feel like he could be 3 or he could be 5. He could be 1 as well, but he could also be number 5. And I feel like that's not happening with McKinnon or McDavid. Those two are 1 and 2 given every damn night. That is the marquee matchup you're looking to every single matchup. For me, personally. How do you feel
Popping
about
the
it?
pills again, Pat? I said popping the pills again?
Yeah, baby. My girlfriend, because she knows I like mint, right? So she has like a ton of Tic Tacs. And so I've already been, there's a garbage can next to me with 3 other cases. And I have one which I finished before the podcast. This one's during the podcast. This one will be probably tonight. Big on my
No,
Tic
but
Tacs.
I kind of agree. I think Calabrini and Bedard, especially last year, you were seeing what kind of player Calabrini could be. Even though, yeah, the Sharks did have a decent overall team last year, but yeah, they were one of the bottom end teams still. Calabrini was the star on that team. And I don't remember that the Sharks had a big trade at the deadline last year that Shark fans weren't happy about. Who did they trade? One of their younger players
Um,
that Shark fans went up in arms about.
sure with the Sharks.
Yeah,
What did they trade away? Actually, I don't remember what they traded away.
can't remember.
I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't Timo Meyer because he was there for a couple years now.
No.
Thomas Bordelais?
Who did they trade? They traded away somebody.
Only you know which player exactly you're talking about because I don't remember anyone being up in arms about a lot of stuff. And maybe I'm wrong. If you don't know it, Dan, let's just skip it because I don't know what you're going to. Like, what's your point here?
Yeah, I don't remember the player, but they traded away somebody this year.
I have no idea which one you're talking about, honestly. So,
Oh yeah, Galland.
Oh. Okay.
They traded away Galland.
Garland.
And I know Sharks fans weren't happy about that because that was like their cornerstone. They were trying to build around him and everything.
Yeah.
But Calabrini definitely has came into being some.
Celebrini.
Well, like you said,
drive me up a wall. Celebrini.
Celebrini
Like,
has been coming into the league, especially this year, has been looking like one of the future is bright for him. I mean, like you said, he has 24 points, 10 goals, 14 assists. He's filling that role as setting the tone that he's going to be the franchise guy for the Stars. And Bedard, yeah, even though he struggled last year, he's coming into form this year. And I think when you look at the NHL and you compare it to like an MLB or a NFL where you give these rookies their first season, not all these rookies are going to perform because even Connor McDavid struggled his rookie year. He didn't put up 100 points his rookie year. It's kind of hard to put up that many points in your rookie year because, well, like I say, you're trying to get your feet under you. It's a different level of play that you're going for. And yeah, you can be this franchise player and adapt to the NHL play, but at the same time, you're playing 2 different games. It's kind of hard to just fit right into that role and be expected to perform at a franchise level your rookie year. And I think that's with every sport. You set these expectations for these players that is way too high for their ceiling, and you have to give it at least 2 years before they actually reach their ceiling and try to develop. Because in year 2, you're going to start seeing a better player all around because he's adapted to the level of play in the NHL or even the NFL or MLB. And they're getting their roles and they're getting their level of play or chances in that, they're getting their chances in that new system. It's a whole new system they have to adapt to. And like I said, there's a lot of veterans in the league that are going to make these rookies actually work for it. And that's on the player to see if, oh, okay, I could pick up on these nuances that they're doing and I can tweak my game around that. And you're seeing that with these two players this year. How much they improved from last year.
I think for me, when you talk about sports and development process of their rookies and whatnot, again, I feel very strongly about how the Rangers have handled theirs because I feel like they've been piss poor at developing their guys.
No, I agree when it comes to the Rangers. I'm saying that, like, besides that, like, when you develop your players, yeah, you want them to have these top line minutes. I'm not disagreeing with you. You want them to have the top line minutes. But at the same time, you don't want to go into the expectations the first year that, oh, we're going to give you these top line minutes, but we want you to get 100 points.
I don't think anyone's going for that though. Even so, let's take like again. I'm gonna go with the Rangers. The Rangers are the ones I know, but let's go with the Rangers, right? Say 2020, we go back, we get Lafreniere on in the game, right? Like even for me, I don't want him to put up 100 points. Now I already said before the draft anyway, because again I know there are a lot of just casual watchers of sports, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone watches at their own thing, you know. Some people don't watch the juniors, some people do watch juniors, and it's not all about just the stat sheets. Again, you have to look at the player and how they're playing and what makes them good. Like I called Jackson Dart for me to be a good quarterback out of preseason because I watched him and I actually like sat there and I observed his game. I didn't just go he had 109 yards so he's gonna suck or he had this many yards and he's good. You know the Chargers game he didn't have a lot of yards, but he still looked great. And if you ask me why he looked great, it's because of certain things like how he read the field or the ability to escape the pocket, knowing that he has to run, or having the pocket presence to understand and stay cool, calm, and collected, and knowing that he could throw this ball off or inches receivers to come in. I'm not expecting Dart to take the Giants to the Super Bowl. I wasn't expecting Lafreniere to take the Rangers to the Stanley Cup, right? But when you come off of your first season is you're getting the developmental time in those first lines, and if anyone's expecting their guy to immediately get 100 points or be a top five guy in the league for like a quarterback or something like that, or a 60 home run hitter in the MLB, if anyone's looking at their rookies to do that, you're dumb. You're just dumb. You really are. It's not going to happen. Not many people could do things like that. It's very rare in that case to begin with. Um, but no, but you can look at them and go, okay, this guy is good. Why are they good? It has nothing to do with the record. It has nothing to do with the amount of yards, the amount of goals, or whatever. It's how did they score? See, now for me, let's take Chris Kreider, for example, right? This is a sore subject for the New York Rangers fans. I'm going to have to clip this out and make its own video just so that people could see it because I
Yeah,
feel
make
like
it a
this will be
short.
clips.
Come on, make it a short.
So this will be its own thing. Chris Kreider, I love Chris Kreider. I honestly felt like he should have been captain over Trouba, but clearly either management or the players felt differently. I know there's a whole discrepancy at the time with Trouba being the guy that they want to go with. Whatever, fine, cool. But Chris Kreider to me, he had a very lackluster career leading up to this rebuild or the retool. Not even a rebuild, retool. Um, so really beforehand, he's never really scored over 57 points. 50 points, I think, before this rebuild, retool in 2021, where he started going off and getting points. Beforehand, though, you go look at his stats, he hasn't put up over 60 points in a season. Not once, I don't believe. Not once. So where did he get good at? He got good because he ended up doing really, really good on the power play and penalty kill units. Now, that's nothing to scoff at. That's still amazing that he could still do that, especially late bloomer. You come out at the age of 30 and you look like a beast down below, and he found his role. He found his niche, and he found what he has to do, and he started doing great. Applause to him. But even on the Ducks now, on the season, a majority of his points are coming from the power play. So, Chris Kreider, I would love him on the Rangers, but on a third line situation, not a first line. If you would have stayed on a third line situation, would have loved him. I felt the same, and I still feel the same about Mika Zibanejad. Mika Zibanejad. Mika Zibanejad's a good player. I like him. A lot of his points recently were scored mostly on the power play up until last season, really, because no one scored on anything last season. And then this season, he's actually looking good 5-on-5. I actually like the way he's playing. This is probably his best season that I've seen him play as a New York Ranger. Not even a cap. Hold me to it. Disagree with me, whatever you want. But I feel like this is his best season as a New York Ranger so far. But when I'm looking at like prospect like building, they shoved all these guys. They drafted someone like Lafreniere, and they shoved him down to the third line. Then they made him play on his off wing. Now he's playing top line minutes, but he's on his off wing that he hasn't played ever in his life. He's always practiced on the left wing. Before anyone says it, yes, it does make a big difference. Ask any player. It does make a big difference. If it didn't make a big difference, Bread would have been playing right wing. What's it called? Kreider would have been playing right wing, but they weren't. Why weren't they? Is because it's not easy to do. They had the productivity. They're going to play on the left wing as they were drafted to do, and they're not going to make the rookie come up and play on the left wing because otherwise he's going to stay on the third line. And we would have never had Lafreniere on the first two lines ever because he would have just been stuck down there. They basically gave an ultimatum. Hey, listen, we drafted you because you looked great. Now do great, but we want you to do it on the third line, and we want you to switch over to the right wing in about 2 years. So figure that out. And then if you don't, then we'll consider you a bust. So developmental people, when you're looking at these guys, you're not basing them off of 100-point records. You already know that Bedard was going to look good off his first season. It didn't matter that he had 100 points or not. He looked great. He has the IQ for the game in hockey terms. It's hockey IQ. You're looking at the hockey IQ. Someone like Crosby has insane amount of hockey IQ. Now, for me, he's the smartest guy to have ever played the NHL game itself. He's just fantastic. And yes, I know a lot of the old heads are probably saying, oh, you weren't around to watch this. I don't care. I'm still going to say it because that's how I feel. I feel like he is one of the smartest guys to have ever played, if not the smartest guy to have ever played. But you have guys like that, and you start them out on the second line or the first line. You let them develop into these players and not just shove them below onto a depth role position. And you set out a expectation, not 100 points. I don't think anyone's setting out 100 points for expectation. If anyone is, they're dumb. I'm going to put them as, they're listed as the casual fan. And casual fans aren't dumb, but when you're a casual fan that's just watching casually, and you have insane opinions about something, then you're just dumb. Then now you look dumb.
The 100-point was a little bit dramatic, but I'm just saying, like, nobody everybody sets these like standards of like 50 to like 75 points.
That is a good expectation for a rookie. If you're coming into this, especially when you have no one else on your team to help you, and you are out there to do things on your own. For me, if you're looking at a good rookie expectation, I would like to see set of 50 points out of you in the season. 50 points is a good benchmark for me. That's solid. I don't even mind that. 50, 60, 70 points would be fantastic. Because if you're getting 20 points in your rookie season, and then you're getting 30 points the year after, to me, you've already, for me, first off, excluding the points, if I'm looking at you, I've already determined in my mind that you're not an elite player. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's the first 2 years. It just simply has the fact with you do not have the ability to score 90 points, 100 points. You just don't. Some players come out and they do it late, but it's not all the time. But for me, I just think that there are more developmental people that need to understand that they aren't getting 100 points, because then we're going to talk about how their developmental system was in life, because I don't understand how anyone's coming out here with a high expectation like that. I think 50 points is pretty fair for me, and that's just kind of where I'm at with it. All right, Dan, it is almost 3 o'clock. For me, I do have to end up running out of here. So we're going to sign off for now. This was a good podcast. I actually really enjoyed this podcast. It was really fun to shoot this week. But before we go, I just got to throw one out there. So quickly, lightning round. Who is the best AFC team in the game right now?
Best AFC team in the game right now.
No thanks.
I'm going to go Patriots.
Said Patriots as well. I think the Patriots right now are the best. All right, guys. We appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys so much for joining us on BSBN's podcast, episode 7. We'll be back next week with more good action. If you want to hear about a subject or hear about a topic that you want to hear, please comment down below. Let us know what you think or what you want to hear us talk about, and maybe we'll go over it. But enjoy yourselves. Have a great day, sports world, and we'll talk to you guys again next week. Peace out, everyone.
Peace out, guys.